Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality, and today we will be making this really pretty card using tissue paper and a few other things here. This card is inspired by a blog post that I saw on Simon Says Stamps, so I will put the link for that down below. So what this card is, this is a frame that I made in Cricut Design Space. I will put the link for my project. I made it with images from within Cricut Design Space. And then I have this stamp here that I had in my stash, and back behind here are layers of tissue paper that I inked up with some inks. So the things that you will want to pull out for this project is some white tissue paper, some white cardstock, and two colors of cardstock that you want to coordinate with some inks. So I have this little pack of inks that I picked up from the $2 bin at Michael's, and it has pinks and purples and greens. So I chose to pick out the green and the purple that were in there. You'll need a coordinating ribbon to go with it, a sentiment stamp, and I have this thank you stamp, and it's the same one here, but you can use a birthday sentiment or just whatever you want to use. Some embossing powder. I have some white with some silver sparkle in it. Some Mod Podge, either tearing tape or whatever adhesive you want to use to glue everything down onto your card base. I'm just going to use tacky glue. I had used some tearing tape on this, but I ran out, so I'm just going to use tacky glue today. And you'll need some Versamark ink, and then I used some foam pop squares, and then I have my scissors and my paper trimmer and my embossing heating tool. So let me get this stuff cleared off and we will get started. First thing you want to do is take and cut your tissue paper. I'm just cutting it right at where it's folded, and then I'm going to cut an approximate 2-inch strip, and I will cut several strips for this project. I have 6 so far, and I think that's probably enough. I'm going to pull in some parchment paper so that I don't get ink on my work surface. So I'm going to take each strip of the tissue paper and my ink, and I'm going to go ahead and ink each piece up. So now that these are done, I've decided I'm not going to use my pinks because I don't like that color combination, but I do like these 4 colors here. So I'm going to go ahead and take each one and I'm going to cut it up into little strips. So I'm just going to cut it in half and then in thirds, or you could go in half again, but I want them to be like 1/2 inch strips. So I'm going to go ahead and cut each strip into little 1/2-inch strips, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut each one in half again like that, and I will do that for all of my colors. So now you want to cut your white cardstock 4 by 4, and then take your Mod Podge and a really soft brush, and I forgot to tell you that you needed this at the beginning, but you want it to be soft because so you don't tear your tissue paper. But first, go ahead and spread some Mod Podge onto your paper. And you can do it a little section at a time. And then start laying your tissue paper pieces down. And you can do it like a brick, alternating, like doing kind of like how bricks are, how like the end of the brick goes to the center. Or you can do it however you want. But I'm just gonna alternate colors and the placement. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So go ahead and do that for the full length of your board. Now you just want to take your Mod Podge and paint the Mod Podge over the top of your tissue paper, being careful not to rip it. Let this dry and come back and we will finish the project. So after it's dried, you can go ahead and trim off your edges. And then we're going to go ahead and assemble our card. So I'm going to take my aqua colored paper here and I'm going to cut it down to 4 1/4 by 11. And then go ahead and fold it in half, and that will be the base of our card. And my card's going to open up like that. So this piece will go down there like that. I have my border here, and like I said, I will put the link for my Cricut Design Space project so that you can cut out one of these on your own to go on top of your card. So I'm going to go ahead and glue my frame down on top of my tissue card. And I'm just going to put glue around the edges and just let this float on top. So it doesn't really need glue there. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue down this piece. And I'm going to take my ribbon and tie a piece of ribbon along the bottom. Just like that. And then now I want to stamp my image out with the Versamark ink. My sentiment, that is. And go ahead and put some embossing powder on here. And I'm going to go ahead and heat up and set that. Now you want to go ahead and trim this off and we'll attach it to the card. I'm going to use a couple of my pop squares here to put it down so it's a little bit dimensional. Oops. And I will place it right down along the bottom here. And adjust this a little bit. There. Just like that. It's super pretty. If you wanted to put like Wink of Stella or something around on the flowers, you could, or you could put little rhinestones, but I'm just going to leave it at that, just like this one. I just love how that turned out, and I love the pattern of the tissue paper in the background. I just think it looks so pretty. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you again next time. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality. Bye. God bless.